So I just finished Netflix's Squid Game reality TV show in less than 24 hours unexpectedly because it was surprisingly pretty good. I had heard some bad reviews about it and I heard that the acting was pretty bad, but I thought it was like, a reality TV show. I know that not all of it is real. Most of it is acted out and some of it is scripted. So I expected that, but my girlfriend put it on. I never planned on watching it at all. And when she put it on, I was like, oh my goodness, I heard this was bad. I really don't want to watch this. But for her sake, she wanted to watch it. I toughed it out. And actually, what I heard wasn't true. Maybe because I came into it with such low expectations that it actually surprised me. It was pretty good. And I'd never watch reality TV. Like my mom or my aunt will watch some terrible reality TV shows with, bad girls and all that stuff. But I will never watch that stuff. This stuff is ridiculous. I can't. But yeah, my girlfriend turned it on and I was surprisingly entertained. Like almost the whole time. There were some dry parts throughout it. Oh, and as a quick disclaimer, I'm not going to do any spoilers yet. I'll do it like at the end of the video or halfway through, however long this first part is. I'll put a timestamp in the description so you guys can just skip to the spoilers section if you want to. I will say it had me drawn in the whole time. Besides during like the middle, it started to get a little slow and some of the games kind of bothered me. Like I feel like it wasn't really fair the whole time. I felt like the games kind of made it underwhelming. Some of the games they add in there, it's almost like they were just putting them in there to get rid of people because they weren't getting rid of enough fast enough. There are some parts of the show that are very staged and very cringy because you can tell like it's clearly set up by the producers that call them in a back room and tell them to act out certain parts of the show. And it seems it doesn't really fit. I guess it's there to raise drama and make you care about the characters more, but it doesn't really work. It's just so like obvious and cringy. And the acting is really bad. All the sets are spot on. It's almost like they just used the same sets. They might have, I don't know, but I just know that it was really good. And they even come up with some new sets that look really good too. It all fits the theme of Squid Game perfectly. I really liked some of the characters, but some of the downsides for that stuff was how unlucky you can really get when you have some of these characters. You get attached to them and then something bogus or really lame happens because it's not like an actual TV show where you write out the story so it can be satisfying. This is like real life. Some of it is acted, but some of it is real. And you can't help but feel underwhelmed when some of the characters lose to such underwhelming, silly stuff. But at the same time, throughout almost the whole show, I was cheering, I was rooting for people. I was laughing. I was mad at certain people. Certain people were pissing me off. Certain people was making me actually care about them. And I was relating to some of the characters too. I will say this was an actual fun watch. I watched it with my girlfriend, which probably made it even better. But the next day, in the morning, I started watching it by myself while she was at work, and it was really good by myself too. Some of the problems that I had is that there was just so much crying, so much, and it was mainly the women, but there was just so much crying, and sometimes it was unnecessary. It was just starting to get annoying towards the end. Another thing I had a problem with, and I don't know if it's just because I don't watch reality TV, maybe this is the norm, but they really drag some of this stuff out. Some of the scenes where it's suspense, they'll drag that out. They'll drag out some of the elimination stuff. There's just a lot of this. I feel like this could have been 8 episodes instead of 10. They could have cut out a good 40 to 80 minutes of just nonsense. And I also will say, as some of the characters I cared about started to get eliminated from the show, the less I started to care about who was winning. And I guess that's the problem with it being a reality TV show. All of the most interesting characters lose pretty much by the end. Interesting to me, that is. There is somebody that I root for at the end, but it's because I had to. It wasn't because I cared that much. Another thing I want to touch on is that it's pretty messed up that the person that won in real life hasn't gotten paid yet. All the money, 4.6, 4.5, something like that. I don't know why they would. I don't know what's taking them so long, but that seems pretty messed up that you would tell somebody that they're going to get paid and when they win the show, and now it's been over a year and they haven't seen a single drop of that money. That's pretty messed up. I hope Netflix gets that together soon because the person that won did come out and say, hey, I haven't gotten my money yet. All right, now for some spoilers. I do want to talk about some of my favorite characters and some of the stuff that happened. First, I want to start off with Brighton. I think that was his name, player 432. He was the athletic guy, the athlete, the light-skinned dude. He was my favorite character. I related with him the most. He's exactly how I would be if I was in that competition. Maybe not as cocky or, much of a douchebag as he was, but I definitely would be that confident and calling people out for being weak, because it is not worth all that crying and stuff all the time. Some people were so weak in that show, and it doesn't even seem like you should be really struggling. It's not really life or death in the reality TV show. I'm pretty sure they're taken care of. I did hear something about some of them are going to sue for something that happened, like some symptoms they had from the show or something like that. I don't know. But I don't think it could have been that bad. I guess we'll have to see when the reports come out, or maybe the lawsuit. Another character that I thought was hilarious towards the end was player 182, TJ. He was the one that everybody voted for him to be the leader, and he was so cringy. He was like cartoonishly a leader, like saying cringy quotes, and it was like, what? He's like that nerd kid at the lunch table that you hype up when you roast somebody, even though the roast was terrible. A quote that had me dying in the show, because right after it, he falls. He keeps saying, attack the moment. And right before they do the platform one, where if you jump on the wrong square, you fall, he says, attack or whatever. He says a little quote, and then he jumps on the first one and immediately falls. I was cracking up. I couldn't believe it. Man, it was so satisfying to watch him lose. One thing I didn't like at the end of the show was when the old man, and what was that guy's name? I forget his name, but he had like the mullet haircut, I think. He was one of my favorite characters too. I also did not like the way he got eliminated. That was also BS. It's just the way they eliminated some people was so lame. Just making these silly little unfair games and people just get to choose. Oh, you're done. You're eliminated. That was so silly, and that really irritated me, because it's so unfair. Let it be that unfair just seems kind of cheap. But anyways, back to what I was saying. When him and the old guy went in that back room and they had to play that game where they throw the piece of paper and make the other piece of paper flip, was so cringy. And the acting was so bad. The producers clearly called them back there and told them to do that. It was just, I know they were trying to make it more heartfelt so that you care about their bond when they lose. I think that's what they were trying to do. But it didn't really work. It was so clearly staged. I do want to say the real main character of this show was the dude with his grandma. I actually was rooting for them at the end too before he died, because he just started doing too much at the end. I don't know what his plan was. He was getting really frustrated and he just kept hopping over each block to get to the next. And then he just falls. It really sucks that that's the way he went out, because he was really starting to become my favorite. He was like an actual main character. If this was a real show, I feel like he would have been the main character, him and his grandma. His grandma was cool, and I really wanted him to win at first, but, people weren't working together at the end, and yeah, it ended up leading to him taking one for the team. Towards the end of the show, Chad was the only one that I cared about, because he was quiet, because they got rid of everybody else. They got rid of the doctor. They got rid of the old man. First of all, how they got rid of that doctor was terrible. That delusional lady that was saying that she didn't like the doctor and got everybody to vote for him. So he lost for no reason. He was the only actual like nice dude, genuine dude that was trying to help people out. And this narcissistic lady, I forgot her number. I don't even care. She made me so mad. She was the math teacher or something like that. And she ends up getting him kicked off. Oh, I couldn't wait for her to lose. But I had noticed Chad in the beginning, and he was really laid back. What number was he? 286? He was really laid back, and he was always sleeping, and he never really talked much. And towards the end of the show, he started coming out a little bit more. And he was actually having some actual non-cringy inspirational moments, especially the connection he makes the bond he makes with Mai, the lady that won the show. And actually, when he lost, it made it seem like it was worth something because his sacrifice ended up letting her make it. And I really liked her character development throughout the show. That's why I feel like she deserved to win. That's why I ended up rooting for her, because first the TJ dude chose her to help lead when she was talking mess about him, saying that she didn't like him. So that was her first moment of having character development throughout the show. She actually had an arc throughout this show. And then Chad, he also helps her out and boosts her confidence, and they become a good team, and he sacrifices himself for her, and she continues on and she ends up winning. And I really, really like that because it was a real story within the show that actually worked out. But outside of all that, the show was overall good. It was very entertaining, and I'm actually looking forward to a season 2. Matter of fact, I'm signing up for season 2. At the end of the show, they had that little link to lead to how to sign up to go on the show. I'm gonna apply, see if I get in there. If I do, y'all will see me on season 2 of Squid Game, and I will be having a blast. But anyways, thanks for watching the review. I hope y'all have a good one. Like the video if you like it, and if not, dislike it. Peace out.